what? I can't wait to read this book. So I'm going to introduce you at this time to Bishop Oneil Williams. Bishop, welcome. Welcome again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here.
It's so amazing that you decided to do this around this time, especially with all the things that are going on in our country, and people are going through different phases of their life right now. I believe this book is just so relevant to what is going on and can really help people in the different areas that they're struggling. But first, tell the audience a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, those different aspects.
Well, good morning, Brother Philip. So good to be on this morning with you, man. It's my pleasure. It's been a while since we've been on the air doing this together. And so first of all, to all my viewers, Happy New Year. I am so blessed to be able to be a part of sharing with you this morning about this book. But concerning my own personal biography, I'm Bishop Oneil Williams. I pastor Grace Fellowship Worship Center. I'm the founder and the pastor of that church. I'm very, very much of a very easygoing person, and love the word. I love the word. I love ministering the word. One of the things that I've always realized with the gifting that God has given me is that He has anointed me to bring a word in season, which means that it does, for some people, it's a challenge for them to find a word. For me, it's not. And not only does it come with the anointing, but it comes with gifting. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes it easier for me to go into this book we're going to talk about, because of the inspiration that God gives me to write and to bring forth the word. And so everyone knows I'm Jamaican.
Wow, I couldn't hear that. I didn't know that. I couldn't hear that in your accent, not a bit.
A father proud of my son, who's in the second year in law school. And so
he's a second year in law school. That's great.
In law school, the youngest to be in his school as a law student. And so I'm so proud of him. And I hope that after this book comes out, you'll be proud of his dad too. But it is a blessing to be here, man. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I'm sure he's proud of you and what you have accomplished. Nobody. I don't believe that you could have written this book without going through some things yourself. So, tell us a little bit about your inspiration that led you into writing this book.
But this book was written, first of all, it's been in me for a while to write, not knowing what the topic was going to be, right. but based on the title of the messages that God has been giving me over the years. I've said this before, they're not the titles that you just jump up on a pulpit and scream and get excited and make noise. Mm-hmm. They are the topics that makes you think. The topics that makes you not just listen to, but want to go back to and analyze.
Yeah.
And so I believe that God was not just giving me messages, putting books inside of me. The point is that not knowing when it was going to be released and what it was going to be released about, at least my first book. I've had members, particularly even my associate pastor, said to me one time, he said, "Pastor, you should put a chronicles of your titles together, because these are not just topics. These are titles that people like. You need to let people read." And so the whole idea of this book was birthed out of a message that I've preached. The title itself was birthed out of the message that I preached, where God had inspired me to, in spite of me not wanting to preach it that day. because as pastors, sometimes you want to do that jump up, shout message. Didn't feel that way to me. So the fact that I wanted to get out of it, and the Lord inspired me not to, and the fact that I obeyed, stuck with it, ministered the word, and that it had changed so many lives, especially a particular, you're going to see it in the book, of the lives that this message changed that particular Sunday. And that motivated me to do this. But also the motivation did not come lightly. It comes with influence. In other words, people like you who I have been preaching for your church throughout the lockdown for a good period of time.
Yes.
And we became friends, and you also motivated me to go ahead and do this. And sometimes as a pastor, as a leader, no matter how driven you are,
Right.
you sometimes you need somebody to drive you. And I think that was also a motivation. And so this book was birthed out of that particular moment. The title itself was birthed out of that particular moment. But as I continue to get involved in the book, because I found out, man, writing a book is not like writing a message. you see, it's not a quickie. Right, it's not a quickie. You see, the thing about it is that you're writing a message, you need 3 points, most likely. Hermeneutically, you need 3 points to be able to put your message together. Writing a book, you have to go beyond.
You're going in.
It is so funny when I thought I was finished with the book, and I called you and I said, Philip, I'm done. And you said to me, so how many chapters you got? And I told you, said, oh, you just started. And so I have learned that writing a book, not only is it not easy, but writing a book, especially a motivational book, like this one is going to be, it doesn't come from just the need to write. It has to come from a place inside of you that become inspirational and an anointed place in you that brings forth what God is trying to say through this book.
Right.
Sometimes you preach a message for 30 minutes and people just hear the screaming, but they don't hear the word.
Right.
When you write a book like this, they're not hearing the screaming. They need to hear the word from the book. And so I think that was very much inspirational in writing this book. So what drove me to do this is, one, I felt it was time. I felt motivated. The word changed the life, and I felt this is the right topic to start off my first book.
Yeah. When we hear you speak, right, when we hear you minister, you minister like you write. So I already thought you already had your book out. I was surprised that this was going to be your first book, but you're in the process now of getting it published. Now, tell us how far ahead are you in this process?
That's a good question. We're almost there.
Almost there. Woo!
We're almost there.
That's good. That's good.
The good thing is that the book is now under editing. It is with the editors. And so that's progress. They have been going over, looking at it, analyzing it, editing it. And so I have been working with the editors and the book. I love what I'm seeing. And so that's a great progress right now. Now it's out of my hand in terms of writing. I'm finished with the book.
All right, so you're finished. Nice.
So now it is with the editors to now edit it, copyright it, and so forth, and get it out. So that's the next process that it's in right now.
Okay, that sounds very exciting. How does it feel to be birthing a new book? Have it in the editor's hands? It feels like giving a baby up.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I feel I feel excited about it. As the editors kept sending it back to me, and I kept reading this book and going over it, I kept saying to myself, "Wow, I really wrote that. That was in me."
Mm,
So I'm excited about it. I feel like it's an accomplishment.
wow.
I feel like it's an accomplishment.
Now, you've been writing this book for about what, 6 months now? It's been about 6 months, and I believe that you've gone through even just some experiences while writing the book. What are some of the chapters that connected with you the most as you were writing? This is your first book, so but what are some of the experiences you had as you were writing this book? Any surprises?
No, there has not been any surprises.
Mm-hmm.
What has no, let me back that up.
Mm-hmm.
There has been surprises.
Okay.
The surprise is that God has been inspiring me and giving me topics on this book that man was not in me when I started this book.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because now for me to have all those chapters that I have in this book, it took a lot of inspiration, a lot of inspiring from God to be
Mm-hmm.
able to bring this out. And some of the topics in this book that, for example, let me go back to my outline here. Some of the topics from this book that has touched me is, for example, talking about the rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the rock and a hard place. Talking about activating your faith.
Right.
My breaking point, returning what I have lost. It's time for a new start. The journey is back. And all of that, the thin line between happiness and unhappiness. When the odds are not in your favor, but in your future.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
These are topics that God has placed in me, man, that I didn't even know was there. This book is going to be not just, it's going to be an easy read.
Right.
It's going to be an easy read, but it's going to be a book that any pastor, any minister can pick up and say, I could preach on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
I could minister on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my aim, that it not just become a piece of literature, but it becomes a book that can inspire other people to write. If you don't mind me looking at something here,
mm-hmm.
in the book, it says hopelessness, talking about hopelessness. And then one thing that the Lord allowed me to do is look at the different aspects of what can drive hopelessness in this
Mm-hmm.
book.
Mm-hmm.
For example, alienation,
right.
For being forsaken, being uninspired. And one of the things that touches me from this, though, Brother Philip, in this book, was when we talk about oppression,
Mm-hmm.
which involves the subjugating of a person or group, which means to be pressed down,
Mm-hmm.
suggests a sense of being crushed under or flattened. And in this season that we're in, man, I believe that there are a lot of people who are being oppressed, being
Mm-hmm.
crushed by the situations around us, the new norm that we have found ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this book is all about. So it's an exciting book, and I believe it's going to be an easy read. I believe it's going to be a book for years to come that people can look at and say, I like that, and not just keep it underneath their bookshelf, but keep it on top of their shelf.
I want to sit on that hopelessness just for a second, because you deal with that within the book. And with everything that we see on the news, everything that we see, people who are unemployed and they're not working right now, there's people whose businesses that they have worked for most of their life they're losing it. And they don't see any hope in sight. What is there anything in that section of the book that would help a person that's going through that type of transition?
Yes. So if for example, Let me go down to one of the chapters here, where it says, write the next chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Write the next, this story, and the story piggybacks off Job's life.
Wow.
He had everything. Did not realize that crisis was coming to him. And here he found himself in a loss. Not only did he lose, and it's similar, because not only did Job lose or lost his family, not only did he lose his financial stability and his wealth, he lost his health.
Mm-hmm.
And not only did he, and you see, it's easy to lose, it's easy to deal with it when you know that when you lose some things in your life, it's easy to deal with that because you know you probably could get it back.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start losing your family members, when your body start reacting against you, and then when your spouse comes to you, the last holdout you have, and that person shows up and say, I'm done with this. Why don't you just die? I mean, you can take that from a friend,
Mm-hmm.
but when the person closest to you in that you figure is your shoulder to cry on says that to you, then
Mm-hmm.
they have sapped every energy and hope that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So in the book, one of the things that I said in the book is that the admonition, let me put this on there, Philip, before I kind of lose I didn't realize my power wasn't plugged in, so let me get it in here before it goes off on me. Give me a minute. I apologize here. Thought I had it connected.
That's all right. You know, we're in the age where, you know, we have to kind of like anticipate what's going on. Everything is electronic now, you know.
Yeah, good. You know, and can I read something from this here?
Yes, go ahead.
Just quickly from the book that I think somebody may find this encouraging when you find this in this position that we're in now. He says that the story of Job did not end in the chapters of the Holy Book, only displays his struggle because of his courage and faith to see what the end looks like. Mm-hmm. And because he decided not to accept the result of his temporary struggle. The last chapters indicate that he was blessed more than what he lost.
Wow.
Sometimes the struggle will produce more than what you lose or what you lost. In the struggle, you may be close to your exit, but you have not yet fully checked out. So the admonition then is that you wait for the next chapter to be written, because this may not be how the story ends for you. Do not shortchange your destiny by quitting in your struggle.
Yes.
See, I know you are probably saying this is easy to say, but take it from someone who has been there and is still sometimes having aftershocks from the earthquakes in his life.
Wow. And
so what I'm saying to individuals is that, yes, right now, this is temporary. This too shall pass. Mm-hmm. You know, and so hang in there. And one part of the book where I talk about in a tailspin where your car is spinning out of control, and a lot of people choose to hopefully not damage the car while it's spinning. But what they fail to understand is that if you can look at the damage, it means that you survived the crash.
Wow. Yes. Yeah.
And sometimes we pay too much attention to the damage and not the fact that we survived.
Yeah. That's key. Yeah. Because the fact that you survive means that you can move on.
You can move on.
That's great. That is an awesome motivation, especially I believe for this time and this season in people's lives. So let me when this book is released, right? When this book is released, where can people find this book? Where is it going to be available?
So on every medium that sells book, you can get it in Amazon. You're gonna be able to get it at Walmart. You can be able to go you can be able to get it directly through me. Mm-hmm. So you can get it. So you can also get the book digital.
Yep.
So I am making sure I don't limit myself.
Okay. So whatever means you read a book, you can find it.
You can find it. I don't want it to. I'm not going to limit myself and try to sell it from the trunk of my car.
Well, you know, that works too, you know.
No. I said limit. Not that I'm not going to. not, not, not that I'm not going to, but I don't want to limit myself from that because, and the reason for that, because since I have become virtual as a church, I have people from all over the world that's
Yes.
been connecting to the ministry. And so I want them to be able to go online
Yes.
and get the book.
Yes.
Because I can't get it to them in Africa, but they can go online and get it in Africa.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my motivation. And there are people in the islands and in Europe who wants this book. A lot of them are asking me, Pastor, how can we get it? Is it online? You know, so we want to make sure that when the time comes, it's available there.
You know, before we go to the next phase of this interview, I want to know just how can people help you in the process of, getting this book published. We have the information. You can see the information above our heads here. You have your Cash App available and your Zelle information available. Tell the folks, how can they help you push? How can they help you birth this vision to get this book out now?
All right. So to all my friends who are watching, I need your help. Now, when the idea was birthed to be able to write this book, we were venturing and doing a pre-sale to be able to get the book out financially, because I want to get this book out debt free.
Right.
And so because I believe that I've preached on message that God don't want us to be in debt. And I have prayed for people who I prayed for God to deliver them from debt, and I wanted this to be debt free. So when we started off with the book, we were doing a pre-sale, which I was hoping that the pre-sale would have raised enough funds to be able to finance the book fully. Many people have supported. We have raised about 1/3 of the cost,
right,
to get this book into editing and into printing, and so that was great. However, we have not fully accomplished our goal, and so I am asking everyone if you can partner with me by going to the information that is posted and donate towards helping this book out. You can donate if you donate above a certain threshold, we will send you a book, which you don't have to pay for. But we're not limiting you as to what you can do. I need your help to get this book out. So I know a lot of people have heard my plea throughout the first part of the process. And people came in and bought 5 books, 6 books, 2 books, 1 book. And I appreciate that. But we did not accomplish our full goal. And I mentioned, Brother Philip, when we were doing this, that we wanted to get this out get the book, the pre-sale up, finished by January. Well, we're in January and the book is in publishing, but we need you to help us get it out of there. So I need your financial support. Yes. So I want you to go to the Zelle or the Cash App ASAP and support this book with the donation to get this book out. Even if you bought the book before, but you said, Bishop, I believe in you. I believe in your ministry. I believe in this book. I believe I was at a bank doing bank business and met a young lady at the bank. And she says, oh, the book, I want to buy 2. And she paid for 2 books. And then she said to me, I went back to the bank to do some transaction again. And she saw me. She says, when the book comes out, please let me know because I want to buy a couple more books. Those are what you call partnering people.
Right.
They're partnering with me. And they're not my members. They're not my friends. They're acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? They're people who enjoy my ministry.
Yes.
And so I am asking my friends, my acquaintances, even my own church. I am saying donate, help me to get this book out, and any amount is welcome. If you give a certain amount of over a certain threshold, you will be receiving a book without have to pay for it.
Nice.
But we need your help.
And that's over maybe about $25.
$25.
Yes. Yeah.
If they give above 25 and above, they will get a book without have to go back and buy another book.
And it'll be autographed as well.
Autographed by me, and sent to you. And so I will also just remember in the book, I also have an encouraging word in the book. It talks about clear the room.
Nice.
Yeah. And it talks about clearing people out of your life that will hinder your miracle. And so please help me to get this book out. My goal, Brother Philip, is to get this book out I spoke with the publishers, and my hope is to release this book on my 50th birthday.
Nice. So when is your birthday?
February 26th.
February 26th. Okay.
We'll have a book release party.
Live on Facebook. Oh man, yeah, exactly. You know, we're here to support, and our company, Phoenix National Business Group. We are here to support people's dreams and to help push them into the limelight, so that you can live your destiny. You know, I believe that you have a bestseller inside of you, Bishop. I believe that strongly, and that, you know, the best is yet to come. So those of you who are watching, anyone who has been inspired just by listening to even his inspiration on this book, you can go to his Cash App, 201-966-8814. Or on his Zelle. You could send him a contribution on Zelle, OneilMinistries at yahoo.com. So we encourage you to do that. So Bishop, let me ask you this, a couple more questions before we go.
Go ahead, sir.
So what is the takeaway? When somebody reads your book, what is the takeaway that you'd like them to have when they're finished reading the book?
The thesis of this book, Brother Philip, is to motivate people to win again. That's it. One of the things that I've read a lot of books. One of the things that a lot of books speaks to is it speaks to a lot of people who are looking for three different aspects in their lives. One, how to educate myself. So they look for books that educates them. How do I bring myself to the next level? There are the books that speaks to people emotionally. How do I handle my emotional status that I'm in? And then you have those books that spiritually speaks to people. Of how do I live this life effectively and spiritually effectively. And so this book, I want it to be a spiritual book and also a motivational book. I want it to, the purpose of this book is there's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's the anointing that's going to make the difference. That's on this book. And the purpose of it is to let people look back and see, wait, I'm in this position right now in my life. See, I said it in the book where a lot of times people try to talk about people coming back from their setbacks, and they glorify that because they're coming back from their setbacks. So they cheer them along. But there are those people who have already accomplished some things, and now they found themselves going back,
right,
and losing out on their peace, their joy. And so I want to talk to those people for them to be able to look at what is it that's driving you back away from your happy place. What is it that's driving you to your name, to your cemetery? Because the book is based on this woman from Nain who lost her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, her bed is now empty. No man is in it. She's a widow, but she has her son. So that's some sort of motivation that even though my husband is gone, I still got my son.
Right.
But eventually, if immediate, the Bible doesn't tell you why and how and what time space frame, but she lost her son.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's dealing with two loss. Don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the time frame between the two loss, but
Yes.
she's dealing with two loss.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on her way to bury this child. She's leaving Nain, which Nain means the place of pleasant and beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And she's leaving that place to go bury her future. She's leaving to go bury her support stream.
Wow.
And so she's not only going to be left widowed, she's going to be left without a child, because that's, according to the scripture, that's her only son.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, if you were in her shoes, what would be go? I want to, when people read this, I want to place themselves in her shoes. What would you do? And so on her way to bury this child,
Mm-hmm.
surrounded her was the mourners, the pallbearers. And in her quest to go do this,
Mm-hmm.
without praying for a miracle, because the Bible didn't say she did, it didn't even say she had an encounter with Jesus prior to this.
Yes.
It didn't even say she knew who Jesus was. But on her way to go bury this child, Jesus is leaving the place that she's coming from, are coming into her place of pleasantness. So
Right.
she's coming out of her place of happiness while Jesus is entering her place of happiness.
Yes.
And he encountered her in that middle space. He encountered her at the exit of her happiness.
Wow.
And as I said in the book, it's customary for in those times that when you see a procession, you join it. It was customary
Right.
that you join the procession,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where it's going.
Right.
Jesus decided, I'm not joining your sadness. He said, I'm not taking it to the cemetery.
Right. Right. Right.
He decided,
Right.
I'm going to change this.
Yes.
So he turned her life around. But he didn't just turn her life around by just healing her peace and healing her pain and giving her joy. He
Mhm.
turned her life around by allowing what was dead to come back alive, because that's where her joy lies, in that which was dead.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And so that's my aim, for you to see what is that's driving you to the cemetery of your life,
Mm-hmm.
and where are you coming from?
Right.
What is it driving you from? And how do you get back there?
Mm-hmm.
And the essence of this book is that you need an encounter. But there are a lot of steps that needs to take place before this turnaround happen. Because number one, you have to recognize the person who's going to help you through this.
Yes.
Because it comes a time when you can't help yourself.
That's right. That's right.
And then you got to realize the people around you, they love you, they care for you, but they can't help you.
Wow.
So you have to know when to isolate so you can regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the purpose of this book, to be able to help you to come back from that place of unhappiness. And that unhappiness could be marriage, divorce, children's lost, this COVID situation, loss of your job, the uncertainty of what tomorrow holds. Those could be all that's driving you away from your happy place. And I think, as you started out by saying about this book, I believe was written at the right time,
Yes.
the right time frame, to be able to speak to where we are currently as individuals. So that's the purpose of this book, to be able to help people to go back to where they're coming from and better. Find that place in you, that reservoir in you, that reserve place, and pull from it so that you can have a spiritual encounter with God that can bring you back from your place of unhappiness. And so that's the purpose of that. And so I have pulled from a lot of stories in the Bible. I've pulled from Peter's life, that went out to catch fish
Wow.
at night, but did not catch any, and thought it was over, but had an encounter with Jesus that changed that.
Mm-hmm.
I've pulled from Job's life. I've pulled from Naomi's life. So there are a lot of stories that I've pulled from in this Bible, in this book.
Man, that is so inspiring. I really believe that this is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. please support in the vision of birthing this book. And you have the information. Of course, you can go to the Cash App again at 201-966-8814 if you have Cash App. If you don't, you can use your Zelle and use OneilMinistries at yahoo.com. This is going to be an awesome effect, and you can be a part of that. So, Bishop Oneil, thank you. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you for, putting yourself out there and letting us know what the heart of what this book will be about. And, I'm glad I supported. I can't wait to read my book, and I'm looking forward to that autograph because I know it's going to be a great bestseller. I'm expecting bestseller. Amen. And it's going to be an amazing book that is released all around the world. So no matter where you're watching, it will be available to you. So you can order this book today. We look forward to seeing you. The Oneil Effect will be on. The Oneil Effect will be on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. So you don't want to miss that program. You don't want to miss Bishop Oneil. He'll be on every other Tuesday night. So every second and fourth Tuesday night at 8 p.m., you'll be able to catch the program. He'll have a few special guests on there with him. Sometimes he's just going to bring an encouraging word to you. And we're expecting an awesome time. Just being able to get pieces of the wisdom that's been imparted in his mind and in his spirit and his heart for our time and for our season. So don't miss it. 8 p.m., second and fourth Tuesdays within the month. So we're excited about that, Bishop. That's going to be awesome.
Very excited.
Yes. You're going to be able to catch him also on our Roku channel. It's going to be Phoenix National Network on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. That would be starting in February. And we're very excited about that as well, Bishop. That platform reaches over 34 million people. And it's going to be a great experience, great way to get good news out into the world. And I'm very excited about that opportunity. And we're going to have a great time doing this. I believe in having fun while doing what, God has put in our hearts and our destiny to do. So can't wait to see you guys again on the Oneil Effect. Bishop Oneil, thank you again. And remember to support the book. All right. God bless you, everyone. And we will see you again on